Hi, good evening to all. Let me know, am I audible and visible to everybody? Let me know in chats. I'm waiting for the comments. Am I audible and visible to everybody? And tell me one thing, how is this series going on? Are you guys preparing the things? Like after I explain the solution here, do you guys try by yourself? Do you try to put different values to, get outputs? Do you do that? Let me know, am I audible or not? Because the question that we will discuss today again is super important question. Already has been asked in Snapchat, which everybody use, and in Pinterest, some of you may know about it, and also in Amazon, Facebook, Bloomberg, and many more companies you can see in the description as well and on the thumbnail. Very good evening, Prince. I'm glad to see that you come on time every day. I'm glad to see. Okay, EX1VI. Sir, I have HCL Tech exam 4.5 LPA. What will be the question level and DSA level? Yeah, if you have exam of HCL, I'll give you recommendation to you that prepare the basics like the math series we already done. That can help you and arrange strings, array list, but not on very advanced concepts. Basics and medium are good to go. But we'll talk about it later. But let's continue with the question. And again, if you want to share this live with your friends as well, you can go ahead. We can have more people in the class to have more fun, right? Because anyhow, we are having fun here only, right? So now let's search a very super important question. But let me open my LeetCode first. So I'll open LeetCode, then I'll search the question. Okay, I will search for the question. So I'll go to the problem section, and here we will search a very nice problem, which is merge interval. Merge, people feel difficult because they do not understand the logic, but trust me, after this video, nothing is hard. It is gonna to be easy peasy. You know what is easy peasy? Okay. And keep interacting. Okay, cool. So I've also have interview in magazine technology. And again, I'm telling you, if package is less than 8 LP, you can consider the easy and medium level questions. But exceptions can be there, but highly they ask from the basics of the DSA only, like we are doing as of now, not the hard one. Okay, cool here. So now we'll read the problem statement. Given an array of intervals where intervals I, what they are mentioning, like you have given an array which has a name intervals, or whatever. Intervals, not that we were getting in our school time. So now intervals, so this is an array interval. And now what they're mentioning, you will have some values like start I and end I. For example, like this means you will have array inside array, merge all overlapping intervals and return an array of the non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in the input. Okay. So now what we need to do is that we have given an intervals array. Okay, in that intervals array we have some other arrays as well, right? What we need to do is that we need to the we need to merge overlapping intervals. For example, you see here, this is 1, right, and this is 3. Again we have 2 and 6. So you can see one thing, 2 watch coming in the range of 1 and 3. Yes or no? So can we say this is a overlapping interval? And if this is a overlapping interval, we need to merge it, right? We need to merge it. So now, why not Hindi? Actually, Arya, the people are believing like this channel is for the whole India, and maybe a lot of people are from the English background. But if I every day see English in the comment as a language after the live, because these comments want to be visual after the live. So if after the live you can write there English every day. If management will see, they will allow me to, cover the course in English, means combination of Hindi and English. But as of now, I have to go with the English only. Okay. EX, please do not use these kind of language like not Gawar. He has a genuine doubt. It's okay. So now here what we have some intervals. We need to merge the intervals which are overlapping. For example, here 1, 3 and 2 and 6. Okay. But 2 was coming between the range of 1 and 3. Yes or no? But can we say we can write this whole interval to 1 comma 6? So 2 and 3 both will come in the single range, so which means that we can merge them. We can merge them. So now what can be the logic? Okay, what can be the logic? No, no, not English is good and bad. I'm not mentioning that. What actually I am doing here, what orders I'm getting. But when a lot of audience will write English, 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 so anyhow, the longer run, we may come in English. Combination of Hindi and English. But as of now, I'll go with English only. Okay. Now, cool. And anyhow, it's important for you people as well, because anyway, which whenever you'll be working in the company, all the officials communications will happen in English. So will help you there as well. So now cool. Now we understand the question, like we have intervals array, there we have some sub arrays. What we need to do is that we need to merge those overlapping intervals. What exactly the meaning is, I'll go to the sliding part and I'll explain you what they're actually mentioning. But before moving there, I need an input value, the test case. Okay, so this is a test case, like input value, the intervals 1 comma 3, 2 comma 6, 8 comma 10. 1 comma 3. Okay, I'll take a new slide. Paint color, I know I need to convert to yellow because you people don't like red. Okay, cool. So now here we have intervals array, which have a nested array, right? So one is 1 comma 3, second I guess was 2 comma 6, third I don't know, I have to check. Cool. So now it's 8 comma 10 and 15 comma 18. 8 comma 10, 15 comma 18. 8 comma 10, 15 comma 18. Okay. Now our problem is that we need to merge the overlapping intervals. Overlapping means those will cover the each other's range. For example, look at this. Here is 3, here is 2. So what's happening? The next array can be merged in a range 1 comma 6, because now it will cover 2 and 3 both. But how would you know if the left array has a greater value at the 1 index as compared to the 0th index of the right array? This is the 0th index of the right array, this is the first index of the of the left array. If this value is greater, which means you have something overlapping, and if this is overlapping, then compare these values 3 and 6 and take the maximum value, and here you'll get non-overlapping intervals, right? Now again, look at the another thing. Now look at this. Here is 6 the maximum value, here is the 8, which means these intervals are completely different. So now the another value will be 8 comma 10, and now see, are they overlapping again? So this is 15 at the first index of the left array, right? And this is the 15 which is greater than the the 10th, right? 15 is greater than 10. So anyhow we cannot overlap them. Why? Because they are not overlapping. They are non overlapping. They are not coming between the range. So what can we have the values as 8 comma 10? Another can be 15 comma 18, right? But how we can attempt this? How we can design our logic? So again, the first thing is that in this example, array was already sorted. Yes or no? So if this is already sorted, then our logic is fine. But if this is not sorted, that time there is a problem, because we don't know this will be here or here. We cannot calculate the overlappings, right? So now what you have to do, first thing which you need to do is you need to sort the array. But on what basis, right? That is the question. Not sort the array, but on what basis? You can sort the array on the basis of the first value of the nested array. Like if here is 1, then it should be greater value than this. Again, the next one should be greater, then the next one should be greater. we have the options to sort it, maybe from the 0th index and maybe from the first index, right? Maybe in the ascending order, maybe in the descending order. We have the choices. So now first you have to sort this whole array by using the lambda expression. I will tell you how you can write the solution. Again, second thing, once you have the sorted array, compare left array first index, right, value to right array 0th index value. Yes or no? That's what we were doing. Look at this. This is the left array. We will compare the value which is available on the first index. This is the right array. We will compare the value which is available on the 0th index. We will compare both the values, right? Again, if what happens, if left array value greater, then what we have to do? Then intervals are overlapping, yes or no? Then intervals are overlapping, and if they are overlapping, which means that we have to merge them, right? Which means what you need to do? Merge them. Okay, merge them. Sounds cool? Merge them, right? Now again we will merge them. Again, if these are not overlapping, then what we'll do? We need to create a resultant array. Yes or no? But the problem is that what will be the size of resultant array? Because anyhow in Java, arrays have a fixed size. Yes or no? Arrays have a fixed size. So we cannot change the size once we have declared. So what will be the size of the array? We don't know. In case if we don't know, we are not sure about the size of the arrays, and if in future we want to keep adding the values, we do not use arrays. We use array list, which is a dynamic array. We use array list because at any point of time we can do anything with that, because that is a dynamically, we can add the values and size will be dynamically increased, right? So what we'll do is that we'll put our result values in dynamic array, in array list. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll store our result in what? In array list. And the problem with this concept is because we have to return an array only. So at the end, we will convert our array list to array, right? Because we cannot directly create an array. We don't know what will be the size of the resultant array, right? We don't know. Like here, it was only one overlapping. Maybe there will be a lot. Then how would we know, right? Actually, why I'm using Java as a DFA, because people are not using C++ in development as of now, right? And if you know Java, if your companies are fine, you do Java and DFA in Java or C++ in any language, they are fine, right? But if you know Java, you can also have a career in backend with Spring Boot. So what I want is something you should learn something which can help you on both the page, in development and DSA as well, right? Cool, yeah, cool. So now here we know how we need to do and what we need to do, right? So I'll go and I'll write the code. We understand the logic, what we are going to do. So we'll understand it, we'll write the code for it. Okay, so now here what I have to do, I have to first access this first value, the first interval, to check the overlapping, yes or no. So I will access it. So let's say I'm writing integer, and let's say I'm writing I'll give the current name with the current. Why is that? Because every time we will update these current values. First time we were checking for this. Once this has been overlapped, then we will check for the next, right? Then we will check for the next. So this current will be keep updating. Okay, cool. So now I'll give this name to, let's say, current interval CI. How does that sound to you? Current interval, and this is type of array, yes or no? So I'm assuming as of now the current interval at the 0th index. Intervals which are on the 0th index. 0th index means the first subarray. Right. Now to store the output, what we need? We need a dynamic array. Then at the end we will convert the dynamic array to the array. Right. So for that purpose we have to declare an array list to store the results. Yes or no? To store the results we have to declare array list. So here I'll create an array list, and here that will store the kind of arrays values So I'm writing this, right? And if people don't know what is the array list, so array list is a dynamic array, and more details you can learn on the internet as well, right? Because it's a problem solving session anyhow, not a theory session. So now here I can give it a name, let's say result, because I will store the result in it. And again, to create the whole syntax is like new array list, I'll sorry capital array list, and then now what we have a container where we can store the result. We have the first interval. Now things comes to the other intervals, right? So because we have already zeroth value, so we will not take the zeroth value again, we will check from the first index, right? From index 1. Now I is less than, till where we need to check the whole intervals array, right? So intervals, the array dot length. And again here, if you or people finding like it's a difficult for you, you're getting challenges, then watch the previous videos in a sequence, because we already covered few questions in the maths which you form the basic logic. So there is a playlist for LeetCode series on the playlist channel itself. You can go to the playlist option, and there you will find the playlist of the LeetCode series. Watch out the previous video which can help you to understand the logics here, because anyhow logic building comes with time and takes, gradually people can build this, nothing happens overnight. Okay, now here what we want is that we have this first interval, yes or no? Now we want the second interval, right? The keep updating intervals. So here what I'll do is that I'll get that as well. So let's say that was current interval, and here I can write normally, let's say new interval. Okay, so ni, new interval, I'm giving the name. And here we can have what? We can have intervals. Every time we'll get the value with the help of I. As of now I is 1, which means we'll get this value 2,6, right? 2,6, this value. So now we have intervals I. Now the thing is that we want to compare it, right? We want to compare it, yes or no? We want to compare it. And what was the comparison logic? The logic was if this value, which means whatever the array at the left, right, if it has a greater value at its first index, at one index, as compared to the right array which have the value on the 0th index, if this is greater, which means it's overlapping. If the left array have a greater value at the first index, which means it's overlapping. And if it's overlapping, which means we need to merge it. And trust me, this question is super important. Again, I'm telling you, because whatever question I'm going to cover here after 150 days, if anybody knows the whole logic, the whole understanding of 150 questions, nobody can stop you in any coding interview. You're gonna rock. You're gonna rock everywhere, right? But anyhow, you need to be consistent. You need to be focused. And I'm not telling directly out of the words. I'm telling you by experience. Okay, because it's not first batch for me. I've trained a lot of people already in the past. Okay, so now here I'll compare the values. So how I will compare the value? First, I need the current interval, which is Ci, which means this one, 1,3, the current interval. So write a current interval, Ci, yes or no? And if it's the value available on the one index is greater than or equal than what? The value which is coming. This is coming, yes or no? Or this is coming in the new interval. It's coming in the new interval. So now here ni new interval on what place? On the 0th index, right? At the 0th index. Yes or no? So now if this is greater, which means there is something overlapping. And how you can resolve this overlapping? Tell me how you can resolve this overlapping. By updating this current interval. Yes or no? By updating this current interval. But what you will update? You will update the value at the first index. Yes or no? You want to update this 3 to 6. Whatever is the greater between the 6 and 3, you will update with that, right? So now you'll compare this 3 and 6. Once you got that something is overlapping, so you will update them. Right? Yes or no? So now once you will update them, so what you need? You need the maximum, the greater value, right? So it should be 1,6. So how you will update this? You'll write here current interval at one index. You want to update the maximum value. The math dot max. Yes or no? The maximum value of what? Current interval, which have the value at the one index. which is 3 as of now, and the upcoming index, which is new interval and value at the one index. So whatever will be the greater, that should be the value of the current interval. Yes or no? That should be the value of the current interval. Getting the logic, right? But listen it very carefully, because the question is super important. That's why it has been asked in a lot of companies which are offering the packages of 40 LPA, 50 LPA, or 10 LPA, 12 LPA, whatever, depends on the company. But it's a super critical question. Super need to understand, right? So now here we have updated the overlapping part, right? Now what should be the another scene? Once we have merged the overlapping part, we need to insert it in where? We need to insert in resultant array list. Yes or no? In the resultant array list. So in the else part, if there is nothing overlapping, in the else part, if there is nothing overlapping, we'll insert that result.add, because .add is a method in array list to add something, any new value. So in that case, I will add the current interval to the resultant value. So now the current interval will be 1,6, which has been added to the resultant array list. You're getting my point? You're getting the logic, right? Now current interval should be updated. Now this shouldn't be the current interval. Current interval should be what? Tell me the new value. And which is what? 1,6. This will be the current interval. Yes or no? So now here the current interval, which is the upcoming value of which already has been updated. So now the current interval should be what? The new interval which is coming. And again, if this has been executed, it will not, this will not execute, which means the first time, if only this is correct, we haven't added to the result. So that will handle at the last. But now if this was correct, we have merged the overlapping. Now again, what will happen? The current interval is 1,6 and the upcoming interval is 8,10. Now they will check, are they overlapping? No, they are not overlapping. So in that case, we need to do what? We need to insert this into the resultant array, list, and we need to make it current interval. We need to make it what? Current interval. So now here, the upcoming, which means the new interval, will become the current interval, right? So NI we have already taken, so I don't have to give the index here, which is this. We are already taking, right? So why I'll write 2 times? I don't have to. Now once these has been added, but what will happen if we have single element, okay? And anyhow, when the merge thing has been happened, this is not adding the one merge interval. So for that purpose, what we need to, we'll dry run as well at the end, okay? We'll dry run it. We'll put the different input values, different test cases, and test cases are these things. Input and output value, we call it test cases. Cool. So now here at the end, what I will do, I will add that last current index value, and that was, we have defined at the top, that last current index value to the resultant. So dot add now current index. Okay, we'll dry run to understand this. Yeah, we can do using vectors, but vector in C++. Okay, array list actually are the vectors in C++. Those are the dynamic arrays there. Okay, at the place of array list, you can write vector and it will work fine in C++ as well. Cool. So now here we can add it, right? Now what we need to return, tell me. We need to return an array, not an array list, but we have an output in array list. Yes or no? And here is a problem in the solution. I'll tell you. You'll understand what is missing here. You'll understand. Very soon you'll understand. So now I need to return it. So how I can convert an array list to the array? So there is one method to array. Okay, so array list name was result dot to array, and this takes whatever the value you want to convert into an array. So now here, and what will be the the type of it. So and what will be the length. So here the length is, that's how you define a dynamic array, new int, and it will have the size of the resultant array list, right? So result dot size. If you want to calculate the length of the array list, you have to use dot size method. And now it's a 2D array, not 1D array, so we will have a dual bracket here. Okay, so now we are creating a new array with this size, which have the value of the resultant array list. Okay, resultant array list. Now run this, and we'll see few problems as well. Now run this. Let's see this is working or not. But I know there's something is missing, which I want to show you. Now test cases are passing. Look at this. These base test cases are passing, but not all. I'll run this. I'll run this. You'll get to know what is missing. Then I will explain you like what is missing so far. Look at this. When this is not sorted, okay, cool. When this is not sorted, in that case you're gonna have a problem. Like look at this. This is 4. This is 0. So our logic will compare 4 and 0. Yes or no? 4 and 0, right? And what will happen? This 4 will be replaced by the 4. We will have 1 comma 4, but it should be what? 0 comma 4, which means this should be the first, then this should be right, which means this should be a left array and this should be a right array. But that's not the case here, which means this is not sorted. Inputs can be unsorted as well. So what we have to do before performing all this logic, we have to sort our array. We have to sort our array. So here again the question you may have in your brain is, so do we need to write an sorting algorithm here? So the problem statement is not standing for the sorting, it's for the merging intervals. So that's why you don't have to write the whole sorting. You can use the existing method. But again, if the problem is whole concentric to the sorting, then you have to perform the sorting. Okay, so here you can use the existing sorting method. So here is one method, arrays.sort, which basically sort the arrays. But how you want to sort? Which array? The array name is intervals. Intervals. The array name is intervals. Yes or no? Tell me. The array name is intervals. And now in this interval, what we want is that it should be sorted based on what? The subarrays, the internal subarrays. So how you can access them? How you can access them through a lambda function. Through a lambda function. So now what you can write here? You can write here. These are the comparators, or we call lambda, like an arrow, like arrow function in JavaScript. If anybody knows JavaScript, right? So now here I want to sort them on the basis of these first values, which means according to me, first 0 should come, then 1 should come, which means I want this like 0 comma 4, then 1 comma 4, right? So what I want is that I want to sort in ascending order, and for ascending order you write a first, means the value of the 0th index, again minus b, the 0th value. So this is the comparator which you can also remember and or even understand. When you want an ascending order, you will write a0 minus b0. Again, if you want in descending order, you can reverse it b0 minus a0. Okay, and the array will be sorted. Now if you will run this, you will see it's working fine. You will see it's working fine. Oh no. What happened, man? Tell me where we stuck. Is it not sorted or what? Arrays.sort. We are writing intervals. Intervals is this. Again, we have a comma b. Right. I'll run this again maybe because of somewhere we are missing. I'll submit this code. I'll submit this code again. We're getting the same problem, which means it's not sorted yet. It's not sorted yet. We are taking a lambda function and again b. It's the correct logic anyhow. Why it's not working? To sort it, we write this only, right? We write this only, and it should sort it. Why is this not working? A0 and B0. We are writing it correctly. Arrays.sort intervals. Ascending order, that's how we write. A0 and B0. What is the problem here? It's not sorting. If I print this, it's not sorting. Actually, system dot out dot println, and that's how we debug as well. But it should sort here. I don't think so. It's an error. There's something missing. So now here I'll print the whole array again. Arrays dot toString, and now here I'll print the intervals. Okay, I'll print the intervals, and then we will get the exact region that it's a I waited for it. Hmm. Oh no, again we have to run a loop to do this. I'll check the syntax part. Should I somewhere? Yes, it's a correct syntax. Nothing is missing here. Mm-hmm. Array dot sort. So we check a syntax here. Array dot sort. I guess in Java with comparator. With comparator. Or I have to try on this to figure it out like where something is missing. Fort is missing. Hmm. Oh. Actually, now I understand what is the problem here. We have only two values, right? And before sorting, we are considering the current interval. Eventually, the current interval should be 0, 4. But what we are having as of now, 1, 4. That is a problem, right? No, I understood. So now what we have to do is that we have to sort it at the top, not here. Okay? We have to sort it at the top. Because anyhow, we were skipping the first value. And that's how we sorted. Now I guess it should work fine. So work fine. I'm reading the comments. So work fine. You got it? And why we are getting this slow? You see, if we are printing only one line, we are getting a lot of time is consuming here, right? I'll remove this. I'll comment it or I'll remove this. I'll remove this. That is fine for me. I don't want to print it because that is taking a lot of time. Now, if I'll submit my code, we will get a faster submission. We'll get a faster submission. Okay, cool. Look at this. Only one line was causing a lot of time taking, right? Now it's a good solution. It's a good solution. I believe you understood it. So now how it's working, I'll explain you again and again the homework for you. You can try the similar questions here, which are a lot of similar questions which are available here. You can try the easy one. Okay, these are the similar questions. First thing. Second thing is that you need to understand how this solution is working, right? And this is super important because anyhow, what were happening when the first solution was, the first array wasn't sorted. In that case, we were missing it. So you need to sort it on the top, then you can consider the current interval. And now for the result, we are taking an array list. Why? Because we cannot define a fixed size array. Because that we want to be able to change the size of it. Yes or no? And then what we need to is that we need to compare left and right subarrays. And if left subarray's first index value has greater value than the 0th index on the right subarray, then we will merge them. We will merge them because they are overlapping. And again, if they are not overlapping, we will directly add them into the result and we will update the current interval. Right? Previously, it was the current interval. Then after merging it, the current interval should be 8, 10. Right? And after that, because the one which has been merged will be added by this only, the last one. So we'll add it from here. Now we will, because the input was to returning an array only. So what we are doing is that we are converting our array list to the array. I hope you understood like how the whole solution is going on, right? The whole solution is going on, and trust me, this problem statement is super important. When I say this, trust me, because what a question I'm covering, I'm doing a lot of research on them. After that, I'm covering here. Okay. Cool here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the question, and again, make it an important note because no matter in which interview you are sitting, this may can help you. These logics may can help you. Maybe the direct question you are not getting in your interview. Some kind of similar questions you can get. I've seen a lot of hirings, a lot of questions, a lot of assessment I've created for the companies. Those are hiring, and I'm telling you from experience. I hope you'll understand the things, you'll try to dry run the solutions, you'll keep practicing the things. And after that, when you have the success, you'll leave a thank you message to me. Or maybe a smile, it's fine for me. Even I can feel like, yeah, one of my student is now on the top. Okay, see you champs in the Monday's live. Or tomorrow is Saturday, tomorrow also I'll come live. Okay, tomorrow also I'll come live. So now tomorrow we'll cover the another question. Bye bye. If you don't have any doubt, we are wrapping up the series. A Prince video was maybe was buffering because of internet, but now maybe it's fine for everybody's end. Bye bye guys. Bye bye to all. Bye bye.